Hey guys, Erlathia here, and welcome back to another video. So this is actually going to be a new series that I have. I call it Months. So now we're going to feature my shitty sketches. You know, all the red. It's the red one. Blue one is something else. And there's like my under sketch, I guess. I like to use the Prismacolor color erase pencils because it's green, and I'm like, I love green. Green and black are my colors. So this is the start of like actual like pencil sketching. I didn't realize I never recorded like the actual dragon part, and I was like, oh, because I thought I did, but I guess I didn't. So you don't get to see the actual sketch of the dragon. You only get to see some of the background. My bad. Oops. I mean, you can still see like some of the sketching on the side on the bottom there, but yeah, this is also at, like a regular like really extreme angle because of the way I have because I have a tablet I record this on, so it's just like the arm won't like let it sit properly, so it just like moves. So that's why it's at a really weird angle. So it's almost upside down, but you can still see what I'm doing. So if just flip your screen and it'll be right side up, probably the best way to do it. I mean, but this screen might flip too. I don't know. It's just different versus like the traditional like top down view. Now you have something a little bit different to look at. And I'm not, oh, well, now you can see me inking in the dragon. I don't really do the inking part because I think it's kind of boring. I'm just going over lines that I do, but I was like, just add something else in. I think I also did it just because I didn't do actual sketching of the dragon. So I'm like, now you can kind of see my process of how I like to draw and stuff. Because I know some people can kind of just go and do any line, even if it overlaps, like is underneath another line. I can't. I have to do the overlapping lines first, and then I do the underlines. I don't know. I'm like, I don't know how they do it, but I can't. It scares me too much. I'm gonna mess up, especially if I don't do the line properly and it goes over. So I'm like, better be safe than sorry with this, because once you put the ink down, you can't take it back up. I know there's like special pens, but I'm like, the ink doesn't last long, and that's not what I like using for this. Um, but I am not showing the overall like process anymore of like the in between steps, if you will. So like I didn't show the full sketch in this one and then I won't show the full inking part either. So I have shorts versions I do for that. So if you don't really want to hear me talk, obviously you can put this on silent and just kind of watch it. Or if you just want the overall like look of it, you can just look at the shorts version. I just do both in case someone wants one or the other. Doesn't matter. Figured I'd offer a little bit of variety. But I mean, inking does take me a couple minutes to do because now I am imagining in more detail, or really trying to, to make the color more proper. Not that it really worked out in this one, but that's okay. Next, the coloring page I do next, which will be the next video, that will have proper colorings. I did the scales beforehand, and it's also bigger too, so it's just easier to do than this one. So, but back to what the actual thing is. So I call it months because I pick 3 colors of that month to like represent the month. So like this is January. I pick the flower for the month and then a gem. Well, the gem. So like here's the color. So blue, purple, and red. So I did purple for the flowers because that's one version of the flower that you can do. Because I was looking, because I looked at like the colors just to see what colors actually is. So I can see what works. A lot of it's like some of it's like pink, white, and whatnot. But I don't know. I like this color combination because I think it works really well. So I know it's garnet for the gem, so which are red. So I was like, I try to do a dark red as much as possible. Still on the lighter side, but it still works. And then blue, just because dark blue is one color that represents January. And also, kind of the meaning to it is it's like, start of the year, open door. So it's like behind it. I mean, you can't really tell, but I put like almost like a cave behind the dragon. So like he just came out of his cave to like welcome the new year. And I did the shading that way to make it look like the sun's kind of coming up. So he's just kind of seeing the sun for the first time in a while and just kind of coming out and visiting. Probably going to take flight, who knows? He probably will. So next one will be February, but that won't be for a while. So that was the idea behind this. I've had him for a while, I just never really like followed through on this. I know the gems look kind of weird, but I don't really do gems, so I was like, I know they have their lighter parts and the darker ones. And yes, the cap is in the way, my bad. I kind of realized, but I was looking at it and I was like, you can still see what it is. And yeah, my paper is turned. I'm left-handed, so I turn the paper almost 180 degrees. Sometimes I do, depending on what I'm doing. Even when I write, people think it's weird, but I'm like, that's just me. And I know I always just kind of randomly say stuff in here, but mm, that's all I got. Because I don't have like I don't have any questions anyone's asked me, so I can't answer those. And I just don't know what else to talk about. Oh, his little feetsies. I am still working on the shading though too, because I know a little bit of I messed up. Like he's too dark in some areas, but I was trying to think about where the sun kind of hits him more, and yet where he still has the shade in it, especially with the scales and like the muscles and whatnot. So I'm still trying to go around those. I'll get there eventually. It'll be fine. It's just more practice and just trying different lightings and scenarios and just seeing what I can do. And no, I didn't do the extra like lighting color in here because in like this kind of stuff, I just don't want to because I think it would just make it look bad. So like in the coloring pages, I don't mind doing it just to kind of add a little something because they're kind of right now they're plain relatively. So by adding in the extra lighting, it just adds in a little bit more. But when I start doing other coloring pages, there's some you'll probably recognize some of them because I like the artists on Instagram. You'll see eventually when we get there because I'll show you the front cover. I just can't show it on the actual like coloring pages because my dog chewed it. My dog chewed my homework. What else new, right? On the age-old excuse. So we're moving along on his arm now. So I'm even trying to do like a little bit of backlighting where the light would kind of curve around and like trying to color the flowers individually as much as possible. I know it looks better when it does that. Some of them I do because it helps them stand out more and I just look better. Oh, now we're gonna do the head, everyone's favorite part. But it's the part I always do last. Haha. So I always draw the head first, but I always color the head last. That's just my thing. Because I know some like to kind of color the head first in case they mess up, but I'm like, we're gonna do a one and done. But it's fine because I put colored pencil over it, so it's like I can kind of fix it a little bit. And you can kind of see on the horn where I try to like do it where the light is gonna hit it. Not perfect, but it's there. I know you can't really tell, sorry, the light's kind of glowing off of it, so it's making it look really kind of washed out. It'll look better eventually. And yeah, my hand's in the way because of the lighting. I need to probably get another one to kind of help with that problem. But I also just need to figure out a better lighting position because the one I have is longer. So it sits on an arm, but like the light's a little bit longer, so it's not like your normal bulb. So I would just need to get something, well, I just need to move it around a little bit and try and get better lighting. Oh, we're moving. Oh, it's finally colored pencil. Woo! So I just wanted to do the top just to kind of show. But like even on there with just the marker, you can tell I try to color the flowers individually to make it work. And when I do the colored pencil, I'll make it look a little bit better. Oh, I know it's Christmas time, and I know a lot of people kind of do the festive drawings. I'm not like that, and plus I know everybody else does them, so I'm like, no. So we just don't do that. This is probably about as festive as it gets because it started the new year is what this is for, I suppose. But I mean, maybe I can try and start doing the festive drawings if you guys want. I'll have to see. Because I do have characters, so I can probably try and do something with them. Maybe start of next year, we'll see. But I don't know. I've just never been a big fan of just drawing like the holiday pictures. It's just never been me. This kind of stuff is more of what I like doing. You know, dinosaurs, dragons, random creatures, animals, that kind of thing. I am gonna try to expand a little bit more next year, like try and like do painting and whatnot. Because there is a drawing I need to work on that originally I was just gonna do in marker. It's on canvas. That I got the idea for because it's my four main characters is what it is. But I'm doing it differently than what I would normally do. Because I was gonna use marker and colored pencil on it, but then I didn't really like how it was looking. So I put gesso on it and I covered it up. Because I got all the marker done and I just did a little bit of colored pencil, but I was like, I don't like it. So my plan is to paint over it and just kind of redo the lines. Oh, now we're on the tail. Sorry, we're gonna keep jumping back and forth here. So I know I messed up on the shading for sure here because I did a little too much. I didn't make it light enough. I kind of realized it, but I was like, oh well, we're already here. That's okay. We'll keep going with it. Um, but that canvas drawing, I'm not a strong painter, so the way I'm gonna do it should hopefully help because it's gonna be very simple. It's just a matter of blending, but we'll have to just get practice with that. And I got paint, so I'm like, let's just try and just do a little bit of painting. There's also some other drawing ideas I have. Again, relatively simple until I get used to it. And I'm gonna do like little tiny drawings, little tiny paintings of just different animals, like randomized animals. So I'm just gonna do that in like a different background. And I was thinking of kind of adapting the animal to the background. So that was another thing I was gonna try. I got a bunch of projects I need to work on that I'm gonna try and do. I'm gonna try sculpting. So we're gonna try and do a whole bunch of stuff next year. So hopefully it'll work out. I think it will. So I'm actually kind of excited for all that because that's just gonna be different and new. But like I do diamond paintings, and like I have two desks in my room, so I got like a regular like gaming desk, if you will, that's kind of on the bigger side that I use as my like work table for my other like most of my drawings, like what this is on, or I have like side work I do, so I got it on there, and then I have an L-shaped desk that I put my diamond painting stuff on. So I have three more I got to do. But I was like, once I get done with those, then I'll have room because eventually I want to hang them on my wall because they look really cool. And I want more, but I'm gonna wait on them because they're kind of expensive. But I would like to get more for sure and just decorate with them because I'm like they are so cool to look at and feel. Oh, and they're so a lot of addicting to put together. If you've never tried it and you want something kind of relaxing and just like you don't have to think, I highly suggest you do those because I've learned about them. So I saw someone else do them and it looked really cool, so I finally got some, and I'm like I actually really like it because I got quite a few of them. So we're almost done with the batch that I do have, but eventually I'm gonna get more eventually. Oh, now we're on the neck and the head, so we are almost at the end. So I just wanted to at least show this because I didn't. Well, I guess now you can see more of like the actual dragon himself, which is fine. I was just trying to figure out the best way to kind of show the rest of the part, so that way you can get more of the dragon that I didn't show earlier with a colored pencil. So that's what this is. And the shaky camera is because my dogs were jumping on the bed, so they're kind of hit the desk. Um, but once I get with the diamond paintings, I'm gonna move the canvas over there because there's more room, so I can also just put the paints out because right now I don't really have a way to put paints out because if I gotta keep them out and I don't want my dogs getting into them. So if I keep on the L-shaped desk, there's more room. Oh, and there's also shrink inks. I also gotta do shrink inks. That's another thing I want to do. There's a whole bunch of stuff I want to do, so I'm like, next year is gonna be the year. We're gonna get all this stuff done as much as possible. I won't all happen at once, but that's okay. I'm like, I can spread it out and we'll figure things out. But I do plan on, I know we're going back and forth here, but that's okay. But for the canvas, I'm going to try and record it as much as possible. It's kind of big, so you won't get the full picture. I mean, you will if you watch the shorts. But I'm probably going to be zoomed in while I try. I mean, the first little bit I probably won't show you until I can kind of figure it out. But I also probably should because I know a lot of people kind of like, yeah, I got it all the first try. That's not how that works. It's practice. So we're just going to do practice. Just to show you guys. And if you guys can give me pointers or whatnot too, that'd be really cool. Because if I can make it better, I want to make it better. But maybe once I get more comfortable with it, I can do more advanced things. But right now, I'm just trying to do simple. And the way I want to color it is very simple. So I'm hoping it'll work. Oh, and now we're on the head, the last part. Yay! Yeah, so I know I did it with a marker, but I was like, here, we'll finish it off with the head again. Just because. I know I've done the head a lot in this one. But that's okay. Head's the most important part of the entire thing anyway. Because that's where a lot of people like to look at. And that's kind of where your eye attracts to. So I was like, we can show them in the last. But now you can see the rest of the colored pencil in the background there with some of it. Just kind of what it looks like. But I will give you the final like overview of it all at the very end. Along with the extras I did. So I call them extras because they're for something special. Which eventually I will tell you about. Right now I can't because I haven't gotten there yet. Procrastination. Woo! Again, that's another thing I also want to try and do next year too. Because there's some stuff I want to look at doing. So I think it'd be really cool if I did do it. And that way, if you guys want to buy something or whatnot, then you can. But we'll have to wait and see. There's also some other things I want to do too. Like I want to work on like a chibi style for some things. So I gotta work on that. So I just got a lot of stuff I gotta work on. I probably need to make a list of everything. I love making lists. Not that I go back really and look at them all the time. But I do need to make a list of things I want to get done next year, at least try to. So that way I know what I gotta work towards and figure out and plan. It's just like one thing a day. And I work on that thing the entire time. Before I have to go to work, which would be fine. So that is one way I can do it. And I probably will, just to kind of keep it interesting, keep it different every day. And just do different stuff. Oh, and like sculpting. I'm recording that too. I won't do all of it right away. But I'm going to do some of it just to kind of show you the process I did. I have not touched it in a while and I need to. I only have the oven baked clay, so I shouldn't dry out. If it does, I have more, I can get more. But I think it'll be fine. But yeah, I need to check on it to make sure it's not going to dry out. But I think it'll be fine. And we're almost there at the end. Last little bit of color. And then got to add the white on for highlights. Alright, so now this, I just decided to show the re-inking of it, because you can see right now it's bringing life back into the drawing, because it's all kind of like mushed together. So I always like to re-ink it for this reason, plus with the colored pencil, like I use Prismacolors, so they're waxy. I just like how they look when they're blended. So by doing it this, and that's just a regular big ballpoint pen. I love those pens, because they don't give me, I rarely have issues with them with drawing on the paper like this. Every now and then I do, but if it's too thick, I get. So I do this just to add the life back in and the details. But as you can see right now, it looks so much better like that. Because now it's just, everything's just being brought back to life. And that's like probably, I mean, it's still tedious because it's inking again. But it's probably like the most satisfying. Because I can still see the lines, but just doing this, it makes it look so much better. And you can see the difference there with what it does. Oh my goodness. This is literally the best part. I know not everyone does this, but they don't have to. They all have different ways. Like some people don't, I think, only ink once when they do it, but I like to do it twice, just for the initial and the second part, just to get the last bit of detail in. But this is the only part I show, so I'll probably just try and do a little bit each time, just so you can kind of get the overall difference of what it looks like before and after. But now it just kind of stands out and just makes it look a lot better. Alright, so now this is the end, so I just kind of go back, show you where I started in that red. And this is what it looks like at the end. So that's my entire process. For the most part. But now this is just kind of showing you. I know the black marker kind of ran out, but I was like, it's fine. It's not going to stay on there anyway. But even with the black, it just makes it stand out. So it looks really, really good. Because it makes it look brighter. But I'm happy with them. I think his colors turned out well. So now these are the extras. So there's his little bust that I do. I like the colors too. I think they work so well together. And that blue, oh my goodness, makes it stand out even more. And then this part, his head's a little big, but I was like, oh, well. I'm like, maybe it's kind of closer to the camera. Alright, and that's the end. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video, which is a coloring page. Bye!